brought to you by AE Engine, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Target, Chipotle Mexican Grill, Expanda Brand, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLS, NCSA, Nike, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, Soccer Shots, Sunmade, TA Petro, United Soccer Coaches, U.S. Soccer Federation, Wilson Trophy Company.
We made it to nationals, and that was amazing because we were one of the best. I think at the time it was 4 teams. It was a round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation. And so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament was so surreal because you played against other club teams that were so good and at the same level as you that you don't necessarily always get the chance or opportunity to play against, which was so great for us because we were like, wow, these girls are like just as good as us, if not better, and we have to compete at the highest level and play these 3 games, or at that, it was a round robin, so we played the 4. But still, that just reminds me of how competitive I was and my teammates were at that age, which also I think helped me get to the next level. And being that competitive at the club level, I mean, has only helped me, continue to grow in my competitive spirit and level that I'm playing at right now.
The national championships was really, really special. I think that was like the biggest thing I had really won, and that's kind of for youth soccer growing up, that was kind of the ultimate prize. And I think we were always super ambitious in achieving that and to have that happen. And I think what's so special about youth soccer is that it's really your family. The girls that you grow up with become like your sisters, and you do everything, and there's just like such a strong camaraderie there. So to play with a team that you've played for a while with, and with these girls, it's a very special feeling to win something like that.
Those were really great moments because at such a young age, I feel like I was competing for something and really working hard to, perform for my team. And it was no longer just about, whatever the result is the result. I mean, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But that was probably the moments that I was like, whoa, we got to win. We got a state championship on our hands that we could actually bring home. And I think those are really cool moments because, you remember a lot of the times that you win. You try to remember the losses as well because you do learn from them. But at the same time, you want to remember the wins that you have. So state championships were definitely a really important part of my memory.
Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, so it still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of.
I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and, you know, making these lifelong bonds.
My name is Tony McManus. We are the 01 Lady Lobos Rush out of Memphis, Tennessee. You know, we were here in the finals last year. Unfortunately, did not finish it out, but that gave us a little bit of motivation going into this year.
It's been crazy, and it's just been like really hard because everybody here is so good, and everybody is good because they win their state cup, and so there are other ways to get in, and so it's been really difficult. But we pushed through it, and we were able to come out on top.
For us, it's a little difficult because we work with a lot of underprivileged kids, kids that can't afford to really play at big clubs. So we're very small. We haven't been around very long. We put in a lot of work with the kids. We pick them up. We've been working with these guys, you know, just try to give them a future, you know, something to look forward to, get them out the streets, put them in a place where they can come and just have fun, meet other kids, and train hard, and just give them a goal, whether it's college or to the next level. So we've been very successful at doing that at this level. So it's been a great process.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935, offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. McGuire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. McGuire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim McGuire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex here in Overland Park, Kansas. I'm Todd Panula, and I'm here to bring you all of today's exciting 18 and under boys championship action as we are in day number one, game number one for these two teams, as it's going to be Solar out of Dallas, Texas, and Sparta Premier out of Utah. Solar headed up by Chris Stricker, Eustace Kolker, the head coach for Sparta. Sparta will be dressed in the all blue, matched by Solar, who is in the white. We'll give you your starting lineups. For Sparta, it's going to be David Gaspar, Gabe Woods, Dylan Rodriguez, Aaron Trejo, Ryan Jiba, Casey Lambert, Fabian Gonzalez, Brennan Neely, and in between the pipes, it'll be Zach Rothy. For Solar, it's going to be Robert Pino, Julian Fernandez, Kaleem Shabut, Christian Neiser, Ian Miller, Samuel Coad, Alexander Bustamante, Taryn Tate, Will Holtby, Shea Adamson, and in goal it is Dan Wilmore. So Sparta going left to right, clad in the blue. Both teams wearing Adidas kits. Solar trying to get in on the attack here in the early going. Back and forth. Solar in possession. Pino saw it knocked away at the last moment. Early stages here. Solar in possession. Just about 2 minutes played here. It's the team from Dallas looking to work it around and keep the ball on their feet. Here's Pino with the captain's armband. Into the box, dangerous chance, going to ground. Goalkeeper comes out and kicks it away. That was Coad, who was kind of stumbling as he entered the 18-yard box and never quite got what he would have liked on that ball. Miller serves it in towards Neiser. All the way back towards midfield. Up through the middle of the pitch. Adamson. One-touch passing. Pino running on to it towards the top of the box. Left-footed shot from Tate was blocked. Towards the back post. Opportunity there to take a swing at it. Shabut wasn't able to quite get the foot through it. Defender was in his way, but Solar really starting to build some pressure here. First game of the day for both of these two teams. First year in quite some time that we've had evening games at this national tournament. Most of the time they played 4 straight throughout the day. And then whoever was suffering through that 1 o'clock game had to try to keep their legs underneath them throughout the tournament. Trying to get that evened out a little bit, spreading things out with games at 6:30 and 8:30. Obviously, the 6:30 kickoff here in the Central Time Zone. For those of you in Utah, a little bit of a difference. Sparta pushing it up the left-hand side. Trying to switch the point of attack. Brought down by Nizer. Into touch. It's going to keep it in favor of Solar. Solar out of Dallas, Texas. National League Red champions. A record of 2-0-2 in that competition. Sparta with a chance to get it up, just out of the reach of Gonzalez as he tries to chase it down. Off the body of Jiba. He's able to get it on a second attempt. Jiba, near side. They tried to get it to Gaspar. Jiba chests it down. Steps around one defender. Saw it pilfered away. A nice thought there, but it wasn't quite on as Adamson sent that one much too direct. Needed to pick out either up the middle or towards the corner flag. Kind of split the difference, and it ended up going right to a defender. Most of the possession here in the early going. Not yet 10 minutes in is favored Solar. Sparta just trying to get their feet underneath them here in the early going. Shabut set it up the near side and intending that one for Coad. Trejo to the left. Once again, it's just not on quite yet for Sparta. High bouncing ball dealt with by Trejo. Trying somewhat of a reverse give and go. That was spotted. Nicer. Too hot for Pino. Back the other way. Shabut right on the back of Gonzalez. Gonzalez able to turn him. Takes a bit of a knock from behind, gains the whistle. We'll have a free kick right around the center dot. Sparta Premier looking for any kind of space that they can gain here. There's not much field in front of them right now. Solar doing a good job defensively to set up their positions. Lambert was unable to get around. This one intended up top, once again going for Coad. Didn't quite make it. Another chance, this time up the right, on the foot of Tate. Driving towards that end line. Defender stuck a foot in, Tate still on it. Also getting in to defend was Lopez. Awkwardly off the chest. Lobbed up in the air, headed towards goal. A couple of Sparta players collided with each other. Jiba went to ground. Coach Stricker didn't think that there was much contact in that. The official disagrees, seeing a foul. Sparta somewhat content to just play it along the back. Try to stretch out Solar just a little bit. Got to get crisper on the passes than that if they're going to attempt that. Now a little bit of space here on the near side. Woods tried to give it up to Jiba. Defender stepped into that one. Coad going the other way. Filtered on through. They try to get it up to Nazer. Pino. Up this left wing. Good defending. Numbers back for Sparta. Jiba stuck a left foot in. Awkward challenge there. The referee lets it continue. Headed right back into the box by Adamson. Adamson thought about lining up that shot. Goes wide instead. Miller presses onto the attack. Serves one across goal. And ranging up to grab that one was Rothy. Careless giveaway once again. This time by Lambert. Foul given. Solar going to have the free kick. Free kick coming up. Taken by Nazer. Puts it right towards the center, and it's just wide. Rothy seemed rather comfortable that was going wide, but from our broadcast position, didn't look like it missed by all that much. Flicked on, trying to get it to Jiba, his numerical counterpart. Holtby able to keep that one away. Coming out to claim it nicely is Wilmore. That's Jiba, who was racing into the 18-yard box, trying to claim it for Sparta. Sparta slowly inching their way into this game after a bit of a slow start. A tussle here in the attacking third for Solar. Left-footed drive. And ultimately, it was too awkward to handle there for Rothy, and he was able to parry it up and over. Out muscling the defender there, and here comes the left-footed shot. Lined it up nicely, and it was a riser. Rothy out just a little bit. Corner kick coming, left footer, swinging in towards goal, parried away a couple of times. Nobody in good control of it, though. Sparta looking to press their attack. Tried to get a little too cute there with that deflection up and over the defender. Off of Pino. Solar will gain possession. Played all the way back by Holtby. Solar just setting it up from their back line, trying to lob one over the top to Nizer. A little too much pace on that one, as that one will go into touch. Solar trying to hem them in. To the far side, seeking out a little bit of space. Turpin just lets that one roll out. Trejo. Near side now. Woods. Gabe Woods. Right through the wickets for Lopez. For Jiba. Touched around one defender, but then thwarted at the end by Holtby. Continued on to the far side for Gaspar. Running onto it. Now right foot across Jiba! And he couldn't steer it the way that he wanted to. He got a good amount of power in behind that one, but it didn't end up with a flick. It was more of a direct header. You see the good cross coming in here, well flighted. Jiba skies up for it, but just couldn't get the neck kind of in behind the ball. Instead, it went right back the way that it came. Just about a quarter hour played here. We're in the 16th minute, scoreless game. Now a bit of a giveaway on the foot of Lambert to the left side, and he stumbled on the shot attempt. Couldn't get much behind it. But Sparta, the Far West champions, starting to claw their way into this game. They were behind the 8 ball a little bit in the early going. Now it's much more of an even contest. Trejo. Taking up all the space given to him. Nicely weighted ball over towards the far sideline. Into the box, Lambert played it off the defender, and they say that it's, well, initially they were pointing towards the box as though it was going to be a goal kick, and now a corner is given. Likely the correct call, but interesting why the switch was made. So Casey Lambert over to take the kick. Low line drive, cleared away. Flag was up, foul was given. Whistle rather late. So the free kick coming just inside the touchline. Fans really close over to the sideline over there as you see that tight shot. Umbrellas out, trying to keep the sun off. From our broadcast position, the sun to our backs. It's still high enough in the sky that it's keeping it a little bit warmer. Now Jiba, left-footed curler, he scores! What a spectacular goal! (1-0) in favor of Sparta Premier off a fantastic left-footed drive by Ryan Jiba. Jiba just took a couple steps towards goal, lined it up, absolutely laced through it, and what curl on the ball. The goalkeeper had no shot, just out of the reach of Dan Wilmore. He was full stretch. But there aren't too many goalkeepers at this age group, if not any age group, that were going to get behind that shot, as that was just perfectly placed. So a goal in the 19th minute from Ryan Jiba puts Sparta in front after it looked like they were going to struggle to get anything out of this game. But once they finally got their feet underneath them, so to speak, they have really been taking it to Solar. Into touch, back into possession of Sparta. Substitution about to come in for Solar at the next opportune time. So coming into the game now is John Sisson. Coming out, Will Holtby. So Jiba, the leading goal scorer for Sparta Premier, does it again with a cracker of a goal, as they would say over in England. Substitute now coming in for Sparta. So coming into the game now for Sparta, it's going to be Arturo Martin. Checking out is Lambert. So Martin gonna take up that left wing role. We'll see how much he's held to that position. As when Lambert was in there, it seemed like he was somewhat interchangeable with Gonzalez, who is currently in the center. Another foul goes against Sparta, or excuse me, in favor of Sparta with the free kick. Solar's starting to pick up some fouls here. They need to be careful. You start accumulating too many, and eventually somebody's going to go into the book. Inside the 18, but not for long. Back the other way. Here comes Pino. Finds a little bit of space over on the far side. Coad looking up towards the 18. Good slide tackle there. Pilfering that one away was Turpin. .23rd minute of play. Just about halfway through this first half. It's been a well-played half overall. An absolute wonder strike from Ryan Jiba is the difference in this one. Sparta will try the left wing. Lopez set it up. Turpin continued it on. Now Lopez again. Left foot's it to Gonzalez. He's looking for a friendly blue jersey as he's surrounded by white shirts right now. Adamson to the right, calling out directions. Coad laid it off. Tate, Pino, open is Nicer. Nicer with a right footer, but ended up right at the keeper. Gonzalez drops it back, filtered on through now to the near side. Lopez to Jiba. Took a bit of a knock there, but a fair challenge. Sisson able to knock that one away. Here's Gonzalez. Now Lopez trying to set it up for Jiba again. but perhaps one pass too many. Another substitute coming in for Solar. Yasib Flores coming in. He will take the place of Shea Adamson. Adamson committed to Franklin and Marshall. Right at the edge of the box. Kind of aimlessly put away from the 18-yard area, but they get away with it. Counterattack is on here for Tate. Picking up speed. Wanted to take a shot, puts it on the left foot, going for that far post. But it just cut back across the grain a little too much. A one-man show here for Tate. Put it on that left foot, went through the wickets of the defender. That would have been difficult for Rothi to get to had that stayed on target. But ultimately it ends up wide. Trio of substitutions coming in now for Solar. Coming into the game is Eric Jorgensen, Brian Besdick, and Justin Barnett. As you get a look at Barnett, fresh into the game, trying to make an impact to his team. Jiba brings it down coolly. Lopez laces one to the far wing. Difficult to deal with in the sunlight. Picked up, though, by Miller, as he was able to keep his counterpart from going in towards goal. That was Martin. Back through the midfield. Solar on the attack. Coad tried to go through the defender. Was looking towards that far sideline. Offside the call. Coming back from an offside position to influence the play. Back to action rather quickly. Settled down by Nicer. Sisson looking back for Nicer. Off the defender, but still in possession. Flores trying to settle things down here. Too much on that pass, and here comes Solar. As they had to get back on the defensive side, but now back in possession as they push towards goal. Flores able to win that one, just getting it past Lopez. Laced up through the midfield, and once again, both teams just a tiny bit off their game here in the last couple minutes. The passes have been good for 1, 2, maybe even 3 passes, but then that final ball, they seem to get a little too careless, playing it where it's difficult to get to, even if it did manage to get through. Brandon Neely played it back to his keeper. Rothi sends it out. Instead, one in the air by Barnett. Barnett calling for it again. Instead, they come all the way to the near side for Nizer. He lines up a right footer, and that was difficult to deal with. It was knuckling all the way through, but Rothi was able to get over and punch it away. Good pass, laying it off here, as you see for Nizer. He sees that he's got a shooting lane, and you see it kind of knuckle through there. Difficult to judge for the goalkeeper where that's coming. I know on your television screens it might not have looked too much, but when you're on the other side of the ball and you don't see any true spin to it, it's really hard to figure out where that's going to end up, and that's why the goalkeeper didn't end up making a catch attempt. 30th minute. And here comes Solar on the attack. Space in front. Defenders on their heels, and then just a bit too much on the touch from Coad. Nizer trying to keep them in. 19th minute goal, the difference in this one. I want to welcome you in, whether you're watching in Utah, Texas, or all points in between. Gonzalez able to win it 2, 3, 4 times, still with it. Gonzalez finally left it off for Lopez. And then Solar was able to pilfer possession away. Bit of a shove there, gotten away with. Going to ground was Bezdik. Lopez comes here to the near side for Jiba. That kind of rolled up his leg. Pressure put on by Bezdik. Trejo will switch the point. Gaspar. Here's Jiba. Finds himself with a little bit of space. Nicely slided through. Right-footed shot. Score! Arturo Martin doubles up the lead, and it's 2-0. Sparta, who looked so lackluster in the early portions of this match, have now find themselves doubled up. You saw there the finish by Martin, a substitution. He let it roll just enough to get it just past center and then cut it back across the grain. Absolutely no chance for Dan Wilmore to get down to that one. But another clinical finish here for Sparta Premier. Sparta, once again, the Far West champions as they beat Strikers FC 2-0. Jiba had 7 goals at regionals alone. He's got 1 here this afternoon. And the goal just moments ago by Arturo Martin. So Gonzalez will come out for a breather just a little bit before halftime. Coming into the game is Jack Terrell. An attacking substitution, trying to keep Gonzalez fresh for the second half, but not changing up the game plan either. Here's Nizer. Solar behind the 8 ball a little bit here, but we've seen throughout the day, we've seen 2-0 leads evaporate. All it takes is 1, especially if you get it before halftime. And then Solar's back in business. Sparta looking to prevent that, but Pino able to get around the defender. He's racing towards the edge of the box, puts it on that right foot, cuts it towards goal. Difficult to get that one in. Solid save there from Rothi. Pino got a little cheeky there, trying to flick it. Ended up going through the wickets, nevertheless. Lopez, deft touch there, stepped into, referee having none of it. A little bit too far behind Pino, but he's able to steal it away on the second attempt. Puts it back towards that right foot. This time he's going to go for a cross. Flag stays down. The shot comes in and ultimately wide.
Great ball, Robbie. Robbie Pino, that's a great ball. Come on, Bryson, be a goal scorer. Let's go.
You see that just go past goal. The center official saying that it went off of a defender. Coach Kulliker and staff wondering who it went off of. They're not going to get an answer. But a chance here for Solar to get back into this game. They go towards the back post. Difficult to get any kind of power in behind that one. Not a bad ball, but it was floated for so long towards that back side of the goal. And I believe that was Coad who was backing up. And anytime you back up, it's going to be difficult to really get any kind of thrust generated behind the attacking ball. Besdick. Left foot's one to the right. Moves galore, but the defender spotted the ball well. Back the other way. Brought down by Terrell. Sparta calmly moves up the pitch. Gaspar keeps it alive. Near side now as they kind of push the reset button. Gabe Woods. Onto the foot of Cameron Neely. Jiba off the defender. But Wilmore comes out, makes the claim on that roller. A lot of the steam had been taken off that block. Nizer. Besdick tried to give it back. He wasn't expecting it, and it was way too close to the sideline as well. Brought down by Neely. Calls for handball. Referee not having any of it. Besdick. Saw that one take it away after it was a little careless with the touch. Hopped up high on him.
Break out of it. Nice, remember we talked about you lose it when you got it. Keep that high
Dean.
energy. Let's go, high energy.
On through. Terrell has to slow it up just a little bit.
Quickly, White.
Flag was up. Terrell was offside.
8 minutes, Bryson. Let's go. 8.5. Let's go.
Kind of
Come on,
get
8 minutes.
the
Let's go.
good look of how Solar's feeling right there with that reaction by Piersante. He's kind of a little bit frustrated with how things have gone here. Solar hasn't played that bad of a game, but they've been made to pay for a couple mistakes. Trying to lob that one over the top to Jiba. Instead, now they end up going through the middle. Chance for Terrell, trying once again to get it to Jiba. If you're Sparta, you don't want to become one-dimensional, as they seem to be looking for Jiba perhaps just a tiny bit too much the last couple pushes up the field.
Hey, I didn't say anything. Except the guy looked
39th minute, 2-0 in favor of Sparta Premier.
Head on a swivel, Joe.
Foul will put the free kick coming out. Official just trying to cool things down here. His temper's starting to rise. Peter Sante, Flores, Sisson, Bestic. Sisson took it right into the defender. Back the other way, but taken away from Cam Neely.
Quickly! Let's go! Come on, Bryson, let's go! Keep working!
Flores looking for options. Keeps it along the sideline. Sisson tried to give it right back. Once again, just a little bit too close to the defenders. As it comes back here to the sideline, but on the wrong side of half line for Solar fans. Substitution about to check in. Coming into the game. Coming out of the game, I should say, is Gabe Woods. Coming into the game was Zach Mooney. Sisson keeps it in along the near sideline. Barnett gave it up to Nicer. Now it's on the foot of Miller. Give it away after he had pushed a little too far north. Barnett puts it on the right foot, wanted to cut it back. Defenders joining the play now. Goes for the cross instead. Not handled all that well by Mooney. Nizer drops it back. Piersante looking for the return pass. Instead, they went through the wickets. Sisson chests it down instead of just heading it back towards the danger area. Jorgensen went over to Miller. Decent header towards goal. Didn't look like it would end up being much, but Flores able to at least put it on target. Sisson dives and stabs it away, but not for long. Back the other way we go. Brendan Neely gave it up over towards the left. Martin had that one sliced away. Gaspar all the way to the near side for Mooney. Jiba taking on a couple defenders, and then the pass kind of went off target. Too far for Pino. They'll try their luck along the far side. Turpin found a little bit of space. He was taken out there, and there's going to be a booking, I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
So our first booking of the game, so I believe that was Bryson Besdick to go in. Yellow card offense. It was a hard challenge, even if the ball was there. That would have been something that officials would rather not see. 44th minute, closing in on the end of regulation here in the first half. Difficult to tell how much stoppage time might be added on. We've had 2 or 3 goals in the first half of other games, and only 1 minute was added on, so the number of goals hasn't really had too much of an effect, but a good touch here by Flores as he got in towards the box, but ultimately there were just too many defenders to get past. Skying up for that one to knock it away was Jorgensen. Neely. Coming back to pick that one up was Cameron Neely. Going for Jiba. Defender got there first, and he needed to because otherwise there was nobody between Jiba and the goal except the goalkeeper. Jiba sets it up in towards the box, finally cleared away. It's going to be a throw-in. We're in stoppage time. At this point, I think both teams would be content to see this first half out with the scoreline as it is. Although I'd say that Sparta's pushing up on the attack, served over towards the left. Looking back in the box, that's going to be a corner kick. Arturo Martin was putting on some pressure. He had laid it off for Neely. He was able to get himself the corner. We're going to have a substitution coming in. Entering the game for Sparta at the next opportunity. Not too much coming off of that corner kick. Solar trying to send it off the other direction. And there we have the whistle. Substitute will not happen. 45 minutes in the books. And although the possession numbers would probably be pretty close either way, it is a 2-0 lead for Sparta Premier.
What's he doing here?
The first goal of the game scored in the 19th minute by Ryan Jiba. A curling left-footed blast just outside the box. And then Arturo Martin scored in the 32nd minute to push the lead to 2. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have your second half of action. The score going into the break, 2-0 in favor of Sparta Premier as they lead Solar out of Dallas, Texas. Back with more in just a little bit. Today's match is brought to you by AE Engine, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags,
Where is that? It's over
Target,
outside the field.
Chipotle Mexican Grill, Expanda Brand, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLS, NCSA, Nike, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, Soccer Shots, Sunmade, TA Petro, United Soccer Coaches, U.S. Soccer Federation, Wilson Trophy Company.
We made it to nationals, and that was amazing because we were one of the best, I think at the time was the 4 teams. It was a round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation. And so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament was so surreal because you played against other club teams that were so good and at the same level as you that you know don't necessarily always get the chance or opportunity to play against, which was so great for us because we were like, wow, these girls are like just as good as us, if not better, and we have to compete at the highest level and play these 3 games, or at that, it was a round robin, so really the 4. But still, that just reminds me of how competitive I was, and my teammates were at that age, which also I think helped me get to the next level. And being that competitive at the club level, I mean, has only helped me, continue to grow and my competitive spirit and level that I'm playing at right now.
The national championships was really, really special. I think that was like the biggest thing I had really won, and that's kind of for youth soccer growing up, that was kind of the ultimate prize. And I think we were always super ambitious in achieving that and to have that happen. And I think what's so special about youth soccer is that it's really your family, the girls that you grow up with become like your sisters, and you do everything, and there's just like such a strong camaraderie there. So to play with a team that you've played for a while with, and with these girls, it's a very special feeling to win something like that.
Those were really great moments because at such a young age, I feel like I was competing for something and really working hard to, perform for my team. And it was no longer just about, whatever the result is the result. I mean, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But that was probably the moments that I was like, whoa, we got to win. We got a state championship on our hands that we can actually bring home. And I think those are really cool moments because, you remember a lot of the times that you win. You try to remember the losses as well because you do learn from them. But at the same time, you want to remember the wins that you have. So state championships were definitely a really important part of my memory.
Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of.
I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and making these lifelong bonds.
My name is Tony McManus. We are the 01 Lady Lobos Rush out of Memphis, Tennessee. We were here in the finals last year. Unfortunately, did not finish it out, but that gave us a little bit of motivation going into this year.
It's been crazy, and it's just been really hard because everybody here is so good, and everybody is good because they win their state cup, and so there are other ways to get in, and so it's been really difficult. But we pushed through it, and we were able to come out on top.
For us, it's a little difficult because we work with a lot of underprivileged kids, kids that can't afford to really play at big clubs. So we're very small. We haven't been around very long. We put in a lot of work with the kids. We pick them up. We've been working with these guys, just try to give them a future, something to look forward to, get them out the streets, put them in a place where they can come and just have fun, meet other kids, and train hard, and just give them a goal, whether it's college or to the next level. So we've been very successful at doing that at this level. So it's been a great process.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935, offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. McGuire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. McGuire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim McGuire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United States Soccer Federation had for youth players. And it was a very good competition, and I can tell you, this was the highlight of my soccer career, to be a champion in 1954.
This storied cup, now the oldest trophy in youth sport.
It has a history, it has a meaning, I think it has tradition. So I think it's extremely important for our competitions, for all the age groups, that kind of emulate the McGuire Cup.
Winning the McGuire Cup is huge, just because all that history that comes along with the oldest trophy in youth sports period. That's really big for us.
Who will write their name in the next chapter of the storied McGuire Cup?
Yeah, I was only 10 pounds lighter when I was 18. I was a big 18-year-old. I was a healthy boy.
Hey, it ain't over. Let's go. Pick it off. 45 minutes, boys. Let's go. Hey, still on three. 1, 2, 3.
Uh-huh.
Welcome back to Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex here in Overland Park, Kansas, side of the 2019 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. Sparta Premier against Solar. Sparta Premier with a 2-0 lead after the first 45 minutes of play. Goals in the 19th minute by Ryan Jiba and Arturo Martin in the 32nd minute have stood up as the difference. We do have a goalkeeping change for Solar. Dan Wilmore has come out of the game, and Robert Applewhite, number 34, has entered the game. So Coach Stricker going with a little bit of a different looking goal. Give Wilmore a bit of a break. Wilmore committed to Fort Lewis College. But nothing he could really do about either of the goals. They were just well struck and absolutely clean in on goal. So Applewhite will see if his presence can kind of spur his team on a little bit here. Miller sent it up. Solar, who had so much possession in the early stages of that first half. It really looked like they were just going to command this game start to finish. But once that goal came against the run of play for Jiba, it just seemed to really turn things around. And Sparta really kind of grabbed the game by the scruff, so to speak. Up the right-hand wing, Sparta has started this second half with quite a few substitutes. Jiba is on the bench, just as an example, as he gets a bit of an extended rest. Cameron Neely sent it back. Ends up all the way through to Woods up the right-hand side. Trying to find a little bit of space on that corner. Nothing really there for Terrell, but they will earn a corner. Left footer towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Bustamante. In a touch along the far sideline. Ireland close to goal. Ultimately punching it over was Rothi. Corner kick coming up. In towards goal. Rothi was kind of screened by one of the Solar players. Applewhite right back up the middle. Shabut. Intercepted by Lopez. Back the other way though for Miller. Calling out instructions. Miller gets it back. Miller to Tate. Lobbing one to Pino. Just outside that semicircle. Back the other way, but possession given up. Neely on it now. Just outside the circle, Lopez. Lopez up the sideline. Chance to put it in for Turpin. Lopez with Tate's face right there. Probably a good no call though, as Tate kind of lowered his head level. That's always one of those where you could see it go either way, but a non-call is a very fair decision. Free kick given though to Sparta Premier. So we played just a little over 5 minutes here in the second half. Coming up from the defensive line to try to get on the end of this one is Dylan Rodriguez. Martin gonna step into this one with a right foot. Curl it towards the area. Don't think he would attempt a shot from here, although we've seen stranger things. Official over to the far sideline, getting a
no.
different viewpoint from one of his assistants. Now we'll restart things. They go with a low kick this time. And that's going to draw the whistle. Solar gonna be able to get it out with a free kick of their own. Too much in on that challenge there from Lopez. Too strong for Neely. Rodriguez has to go all the way back to Rothi. Not too much pressure being put on him though. It couldn't pick that one up. They go up through the middle. Cameron Neely clattered down. Gains the free kick.
Shea,
53rd minute of play. Sparta in no great hurry to put some of these free kicks in. Bit of a careless foul there as the challenge came in a little bit late into the back of Kaleem Shabut. Tate is calling for it. Never got it over the top though. Down to ground is Adamson. Solar pushing forward, trying to find a little bit of space. A lot of blue jerseys back defending. Now they do lob one over the top. That's too strong. Brought down, and the touch in towards goal. Pino was there. It was a broken play that almost ended up turning to gold, but ultimately nothing much comes of it. Adamson had come up from the midfield. He's the one that's going to get the initial shot here. It slips right as he tried to put it through, but Pino was there, just tried to get the little tap with the left foot. Probably would have been a little bit wiser to put more of a strike in on that one, but I don't think he was aware of Rothy's positioning. What a game changer that would have been for Solar to get a goal here at this stage with so much time left in this contest. Solar needs to be careful on the defensive end. They can't allow a third goal against. 55th minute. Solar in possession, but in their defensive third. Shabut up through the middle. Pino crosses the midfield. Pino taking it all on himself, tried to slide one through. He had Tate making the run. That would have been interesting whether the flag went up or not. When we turned to look, he was in an offside position, but that doesn't mean he was when the ball was played. Well won here in the midfield by Adamson. Pino up top now to Coad. Coad pushing out left, wanting to get it across, played it off the defender, and he'll give himself a corner kick. The need to finish has been the main message coming right now from the Solar bench. Coad going to put this one in off the corner, trying to lace it towards the edge of the 6-yard area. Decent volley, but the ball was a little too high. Difficult to get the knee over the top of that one. Couple good opportunities towards goal, though. Shabut was in there, couldn't quite generate enough power behind the header. And then the volley attempt. Miller brings it down, near side for Tate. Thought about giving it back, instead lobs one over the top. Here's Pino! And ultimately it was kind of too tall for the near player, not quite far enough for the far player. And that allowed Rothy to run behind it. Here comes Sparta. One touch back towards the wing. They serve it in front. But that did not go where they intended at all. Applewhite able to make it out and grab it. Tate, pressure coming from Turpin. One by Rodriguez as he puts it back to Neely. Brendan Neely plays it far wing. Into touch along the far sideline. Sparta to the edge of the box, but no further. Solar doing a good job of defending. But eventually, down by 2 goals, Solar's going to have to open things up. And you have to figure that's going to be when Sparta really pushes back in on the attack. So Miller and Tate switching positions here along the near sideline. Trying to get a little bit of a different look. Utilize Miller's speed, trying to get into the attacking third. Right now they need to worry about what Sparta is doing as Martin has possession, drops it back for Brennan Neely. He just kind of calmly slides it over here towards the near side. Couldn't be handled all that well by Turpin, but he got away with it, as it will go out for a Sparta throw. A few substitutions about to check in for Sparta at the next opportunity. Chance to push up via Coad. Miller's making the run. Coad takes on the defender. And he ran right into Trejo. Miller not quite on the same page as Coad right there. That one will go out for a goal kick.
We got a sub.
Waiting on the substitutions. About to come in. It's going to be Jiba and Gaspar coming back into the game. They replace Josie Garcia. As well as Cameron Neely. Sliding it in towards Miller, he puts it towards goal, and it ended up just wide. Rothy knew absolutely nothing about it. If that was on target, that was going in. Rothy didn't have a prayer. You see it slid through here. Miller, not sure if he was forced to dive for that one or if he lost his footing on the attempt. Nevertheless, it just ended up wide of the target. Perhaps that's why they put Miller up top, at least for about 10 minutes or so. Coach Stricker just wanted to get a little bit of a different look. Lopez walking that tightrope here on the near sideline. Trying to get around the defender, gives him a bit of a push. Ended up slipping on the crossing attempt. Crunching tackle there, and into the book now is Taryn Tate. Brendan Neely going to step up, take this free kick. Second yellow card of the match. First one, I believe, given out to Besdick. So both yellow cards right now have gone to Solar players. Coming out of the game, Zach Mooney. And back in was Trejo. Lob towards that back post. Couple players jumping up. Couldn't quite get on the end of it. A lot of pushing and shoving going on here. The initial foul, I believe, is going to go on Sparta. And it's Brendan Neely. Who gets a talking to. And then Coad as well, having a little bit of a discussion with the official. So dual yellow cards handed out. I believe it was actually Nicholas Burns who went into the box, or went into the book. So Burns and Coad. Lobbed up and over. Too difficult to deal with. Brought down by Bustamante. Puts it on the left foot, serves it to the left wing. Miller is now over there. He puts it in! Too tall for Coad as he took a spill. He used up a lot of energy getting up, trying to get on the end of that one. Bustamante here to Miller. Miller sizes it up, gets a good ball in behind it.
They're gonna sub.
And Coad thrusted his leg up in the air. Didn't necessarily see that as the coach was kind of in the way from the broadcast spot. But you saw there on the replay, it looked like he might have been trying to get a volley on that one. Probably needed to sell out for the head ball instead. One in the midfield. Adamson sends it back onto the attack. Coad lines it up. Didn't get enough on it from the volley, and now he seems to be cramping up a little bit in the calf. Miller trying to slow things up, see if his teammate's all right. He doesn't seem to want to go down to get any kind of attention. Bustamante for Solar. Jiba right on him. They get arms wrapped around each other, but let go before any kind of foul has to happen. All the way back here. Hernandez put it up and over the top. It did go off of a Sparta player, though, so it's going to be a corner kick. See some of the girls players warming up that will take part in our evening match coming up at 8:30. A lot of air underneath this one, and coming in behind it, confident goalkeeping with solid hands is Zach Rothy. Trying to spring the counterattack, but Sisson stepped into it and slowed that up. Sisson able to steal it away again. This time they gain possession. Left-hand side, Jiba able to peel that one off. Lopez deftly around the defender. Lopez eating up all the yardage in front of him. Finally gets it around the defender, and then the pass wasn't quite where it needed to be. Fernandez pops it back up into the air, brought down by Turpin. Brendan Neely stepped in a little bit forcefully. Lopez. Now for Martin. Jiba. Pressure coming on. Jiba lays it off towards the corner. Substitutes coming in. Solar going to have 2 fresh players back into the game. Christian Neiser, who's committed to Dallas Baptist University. He's had one of the best opportunities for Solar in this game. Just couldn't quite get it where he wanted. He'll be joined by Justin Barnett as he will replace Sam Coad. Miscommunication along the back line allowed them to get around Sisson. Now Solar able to gain possession. Looking up for Pino. He gets it off the foot of Miller. Pino with speed up the left. Glides in towards the middle, and finally a diving challenge, able to poke that one away by Turpin.
Okay. Oh.
Miller lost his footing again. That gave away possession. Tate. Tate and Miller seem to switch spots on the field quite often now. They've gone from right wing to left wing. So not only have they switched positions, but they've switched sides on the field, trying to get a different look here. Neiser sets it up for Barnett here on the near wing. He's got numbers racing forward, and he managed to get it just over the head of Pino. Neiser again in possession. Pushes it back for Sisson. Miller down for Solar. He's back up. Everybody all right. Neiser sets it up towards the top of the box. And once again, Solar just not able to keep their footing here on these shot attempts. Not sure if the field is slick or if the studs that they have chosen for this game just aren't getting a good grip. Now here's Jiba, the volley! And the ball was just going up a little bit too much, and he got underneath it. 70th minute. Just about 20 minutes left here in regulation. Time not on the side of the team out of Dallas, Texas right now. Turpin to the edge of the box. Difficult to deal with. Terrell was there. But the flag was up, coming back from an offside position. More substitutions coming in and now for Coach Stricker's team. Here's Martin. Pushes it out wide, looking for a call, hoping for a bit of a bailout there. As he felt he was dislodged from the ball unfairly. The official has a word with him and explains his rationale for not blowing the whistle. Coming back into the game now for Solar is Eric Jorgensen, as well as Yasub Flores. Barnett for Solar through the midfield. It's Pino. Continues it on its journey out wide. Lobbing it back over the top. They were looking for Miller, but there was enough pace on that one to go over the end line. So it's going to be a corner kick.
I don't have anybody in defense. JJ, draw! Shay, draw!
Nicer at the corner. Again, just a little too tall. Miller got underneath that one, but it's still in play. Barnett kept it alive, put it back out in front. Flores towards that back post. Once again, skying up to grab it is Rothy. Sisson trying to spring the counter from the back end. Solar has gone to a back three, so they're trying to press their luck a little bit here. Right-footed, right at the goalkeeper. Not a bad idea from Tate, but needed to pick out a different spot. Chabot sent it back the other way as he steps into it again. Nothing wrong with playing a back three. In fact, I've seen international teams, I should say international club teams, even some in the English Premier League play with a back three. And Liverpool did it a couple seasons ago. But the obvious danger is that if your wing midfielders get too preoccupied with going in on the attack, which being down by 2 goals they are likely to do, then they are not available to come back and help defensively. Back into the game now for Sparta is Gabe Woods as he replaces Nick Burns. Jiba cutting it back towards the near side. Played up by Turpin. Turpin looking to get it back from Martin. Instead, take it away in the midfield, and now we have a collision right in front of the official as these players getting a little bit careless here, getting a little bit chippy here in the later stages of this game. More tussling going on. Seems like every time somebody pulls up to shield the ball, they ended up getting knocked down from behind. It's one of those odd situations for officials. You're kind of stuck as to what you can do. Now another yellow card being handed out, this time to Kevin Lopez. More fresh bodies coming on now for Sparta. Back into the game is Casey Lambert. Put in a lot of good work towards the opening stages of the game. Lambert replaces Arturo Martin. Right footer, bounced right in front of goal. And now Rossi goes to ground. Rossi acting like he caught perhaps a stud on the toe. But if you're Sparta, I think you need to be a little bit smarter about what's going on after some of these plays. As we get Lambert breaking up the left wing, cutting it back towards the middle. Quite a few step overs, puts it on the left foot. And then he's tied up just a little bit. And now more players going down to ground inside the box for Solar. Solar trying to spring the counter. Press the attack. Another long attempt, and that's hopeful at best. Rothy ended up spilling it, though, so perhaps not such a bad attempt after all. Giovanni Piersanti getting ready to come back into this one. He's going to replace Shea Adamson. They had Chabot there. Couldn't quite nod it towards goal, though. Over the top to Barnett. And this time, Rothy comes out to make the claim. Trying to find Lambert. He had a lot of space here. And again, that's kind of one of those dangers of going to a back three is nobody's really out in that space if you come out wide with it. Turpin. Looking for an opportunity to get it back in. In no great hurry, though. So it's just about 10 minutes left in regulation. 2-0 your score. Sparta on top. Both goals coming in the first half. It's all the way out wide. Again, more delaying tactics coming from Sparta. Time not on Solar's side. They try to lob one over the top, but numbers really not in their favor up on the forward side. Clutching and grabbing going on there. Solar able to steal it away. Comes over here to Pino. He slices one through to Miller. Nizer makes his run up the right. Slows it up, surveys the field, drops it on back. Flores all the way to the far side. Sisson up from his left back spot. Into touch. Well, Tate ends up keeping it in. Piersante. Nicely weighted ball here to the near side. Nicer got a little bit of space, cuts it back across, jammed it right back into the goalkeeper, putting Rothi back on his backside and getting a corner kick in the process. Didn't have a good angle here, but I think he was hoping to get a little more underneath that one and perhaps sneak it in just under the bar. Nevertheless, a corner kick opportunity earned. Substitute about to come back in is Gonzalez. They go towards the back post, but way too much underneath it. Miller brings it down, gives it off to Sisson, puts it back into the mixer, headed away momentarily. Solar with a chance, calls for a handball. Are they going to be given? There's players down on the ground. And there's going to be a free kick given just outside the box. That's an interesting decision, as it didn't seem like anything really occurred where the free kick is being placed. That initial shot came from right about that spot, maybe a little bit back. But if it was a handball call, it seemed like it was in the box, at least based on our camera angle. Solar with a chance here. And that goes up and over. Might have been a little bit too close to goal to try to pull that one off. With a right footer trying to get it up and over the wall and then back down in towards goal. Might have been a better idea to try to let Tate shoot that one. Not completely aware of how quality of a striker he is on free kicks, but nevertheless the left footer might have had a better angle at that. Again, Sparta in no great hurry to make their substitutions, but into the game is Gonzalez. Coming out is Lopez.
No, there's not Lopez.
Flores skies up, didn't quite come down with it, but his team still ends up in possession. Applewhite blasts it back the other way. Not quite on for Nicer. Flores to Barnett. Going a little too quick with it, but they'll get a second opportunity. Nicer on top for Miller. He takes it up towards the end line, pulls it back, slows it up. About 5 yards away from the corner. Miller puts a cross in. And that one will go into touch off the defender though, so it'll be a corner. about 5 minutes left in regulation. We're in the 85th minute. This one cleared away. Nizer going with a volley again. The rebound. Shot went up and over again. The nerves just getting a little too much of Solar right now. They're unable to keep some of these shots down on target. Lambert brings down the throw. Flores. Barnett. Flores again, but just a bit too far out of his reach. Trying to run underneath it. Jorgensen keeping it away. Gonzalez was right on his back. Terrell trying to kill off a little bit of time here. Pino couldn't quite flick it over. In towards the edge of the box. Left footer out in front. Applewhite kind of in between possessions there. Is able to get down to ground and cover that one up. Touch. Another corner kick given up. Eventually, if you're Solar and you want to get back into this gun, you got to make something out of these set pieces. Nizer going quickly. Don't know that his teammates expected it to come that fast either. Nobody was really set up. Piersante to Barnett. Piersante again. They push it out left once more. Intercepted by Jiba. He looks upfield, nothing doing so far, and then it's intercepted by Piersante. Back the other way we go, left to right. Under 3 minutes to go here in regulation. Solar trying to get in on the attack, but they don't have all that much urgency, it seems. Now a great layoff here, one time towards goal. Once again, spilled by Rothi, who's been a little bit shaky here, but he's kept the clean sheet so far. Flores takes down his man from behind. We see just a really solid ball coming through here. Barnett gets the return pass and went with the instep on the shot. I think he was afraid of getting too much curl on that one if he struck it with the shoelaces. Perhaps sliding it across the face of goal. Substitution coming in now for Sparta Premier. Jesus Chavez come into the game. Chavez replaces Jack Terrell. Final minute of regulation here. Back in towards goal, claimed again by Applewhite. Time ticking away here. Haven't gotten too much indication of any kind of stoppage time. Miller trying to run underneath it. Ultimately, that one was sent away by Rodriguez. Solar trying to at least get a goal. At this point, you have to be concerned about goal differential, even if you don't get a point. Being down by 1 versus 2 could make all the difference. Offside the call. So we're in stoppage time.
No.
No indication of how much time is going to be tacked on to the end of this one. Closing in on a minute of stoppage time played. Gonzalez tried to flick it over to Jiba. Intercepted by Gaspar. Now Solar returning the favor, going back the other direction. Nicer tried to slide it through to Flores. Again, has been the case pretty much all game long. Those final balls through just haven't quite been there for Solar. 2 first-half goals for Sparta Premier have stood up so far. Jiba. Gaspar. Far side now. Gonzalez. He's going to put this one in towards goal. Trying to push it up towards Lambert. Ended up going off the defender and out for a corner kick. Chavut forced to go over and set that corner kick up, so not too much time is wasted here. Jiba on that dangerous left foot. Sisson sends it out. This time it'll be a throw. Again, no great hurry for Sparta to put it back into play. 2.5 minutes of stoppage time played. This one into touch for a goal kick. Solar trying to get it set up quickly. They know time not on their side. There's a final whistle. 3 minutes into stoppage time, we get the ending, but it was never quite in doubt. Despite a couple decent chances towards goal from Solar, once Sparta Premier scored their first goal, it was pretty much all she wrote, as they just kind of put a chokehold on this game for the rest of it. It was an absolute strike from Ryan Jiba with the left foot, curling it just inside the far post back in the 19th minute. It will hold up as the game-winning goal. An insurance goal coming in the 32nd minute from Arturo Martin. And that will give you the final you see on your screen. Sparta Premier victorious by a score of 2-0. They gain all 3 points here from game number 1. That'll just about do it for our broadcast here of this 18 and under boys group action between Solar and Sparta Premier. For everybody here at Turbo Sports Group, we thank you for watching. We're signing off from the Sheens Overland Park Soccer Complex. Be sure to tune in for more exciting action the next time. For everybody here, I'm Todd Panula. Have a good evening.